everyone. I'm Tanner from the investment team at the LegalTech Fund, and welcome to In Studio with ECFX. Joining me today for the second time in our recording studio is Dan O'Day, co-founder and CEO of ECFX. Last time, Dan shared the origin story of ECFX from the early days as a court runner to building ECFX Notice, which now automates nearly 3 million court emails a month across jurisdictions. We touched on ECFX's Denton case study, where ECFX saved the firm over 19,000 hours of labor, and how the product reduces both cost and risk by ensuring no notices slip through the cracks. Today, we're going to go deeper into the product, what's resonating most with firms, how adoption is scaling, and where intelligent automation is headed next. Dan, it's great to have you back. Maybe reintroduce yourself to the folks listening.
Thank you, Tanner. It's great to be back. Really excited to be here. So as you mentioned, I started legal as a court runner. That was the age of 16. And since then, I've had a career through various roles, including practicing law. I did go to law school and practice for a while, but spent most of my career at Thomson Reuters at Elite, the Elite business unit there, and ended up founding this company in 2019 with my good friend Nelson, who's my co-founder. Have had a lot of success with it, and I'm really excited to be here today.
Awesome. Let's dive right in. Last time you were on, you mentioned processing nearly 3 million emails a month. Maybe let's give the audience a benchmark of where that number stands today, and how are you handling that scale?
Yeah, so we've grown 40% since our last conversation. Actually, probably a little more than that, if I take into account an extra couple months. So yeah, we're processing probably about 5 million now, and it's exciting, and the volume just keeps going up, and that's actually a drop in the overall notice buckets. Our estimation is there's about 4.2 billion notices that go out. So we need to each year. So we need to get our numbers up to really cover that whole opportunity. There's just a massive opportunity here. There's so many of these emails that go out. It's crazy.
Well, it's a great problem to have. And last time you shared how partners describe ECFX as a game changer, and we talked through some incredible case studies on time savings. What new feedback have you heard from the case teams or clients since then?
Yeah, so we've gone a step further, helping firms actually recover revenue. So one of the things that we're now doing with a number of our clients is we're creating time entries for the attorneys. So just a refresh, ECFX processes the court notices as they come in. We download the documents, we store them in the DMS, and we send them out to the case team. Every single document that comes from the court has to be reviewed by a lawyer. There's an ethical obligation to do it and make sure that that's done. We create them a time entry that says, hey, I received this document and I read and reviewed it, and it's just for 1/10 of an hour or 6 minutes, and they can adjust it up from there based on how long it actually took them to read and review that document. It just reminds them of the little things. You got a notice of appearance from opposing counsel. You may have forgotten to bill that. You now remember, hey, yep, I did see that. I reviewed it. I need to bill that to the matter. And it's been great for firms in terms of just making sure they capture every hour. And you can imagine the ROI on that has been just through the roof.
Incredible. I mean, you touched on like the ethical obligation, right? And when we talked last time, you talked about risk being just as big of a driver for making decisions, just as efficiency. How are firms and partners using ECFX to sleep better at night?
Yeah, so what ECFX does is it sits at the exchange level and watches all the traffic that's coming in through email from the courts and makes sure that nothing that comes in is missed. So if you have a partner who's off in the Himalayas and they get a court notice, and maybe they forgot to include somebody on that notice, you don't have to worry about it being missed by someone else at the firm. It will always get to the right people and everyone on the case team.
Incredible. And one of the aspects we've been really excited about with ECFX is you've started to layer in AI for data extraction and classification. Yep. How far have you guys taken that thus far, and what use cases are clients asking for presently?
Yeah, so the title extraction has proven to be very popular in many courts where people name documents really obscure things like document 1234 or whatever, right? They don't really give them meaningful names. And so we'll go in and analyze the document and say, what's a good name for this document? And that has been super helpful. The other thing with classification is we're exploring with firms how they want to put, like where they want to file them. So a lot of firms will have a directory structure, and that may be a complex directory structure. And being able to classify the document and put it in the correct directory is super helpful for them.
I love it. One of the lessons in legal tech is everything can take a little bit longer to bake. And, feel like your journey's been similar initially. What's kind of the latest lesson in scaling ECFX?
Yeah, it is interesting because there becomes what we call these watershed moments, if you will, or the wave. What tends to happen in legal very often is a product will sit around and start to get a few clients, start to get some good references. But at some point, and this really happened to us a little over a year ago, you start to get enough name recognition and start to have enough acknowledgement where people go, I've heard of you, I'm now aware of you, I'm more accepting of your messaging. Even the whole idea of processing these notices automatically was foreign to a lot of people 5 years ago. It's now accepted that you can do it and it's a good idea. That's a huge benefit, and it helps us ride that level of awareness to get over that threshold and really make, really just keep growing at a good clip.
Awesome. And I mean, we touched on the layering of AI in ECFX. Where do you see automation going next? Are there, new products on the horizon or adjacent workflows or document heavy processes that ECFX is well positioned to tackle?
Yeah, in fact, two comments on that. First of all, in terms of AI, document summaries and extracting document dates is something that is very popular, and we are doing that, and we're working with partners in the docket calendar space who are doing that. So we have a partnership with companies like Law Toolbox and Aderant who will pull that information out of the documents and put that into a docket calendar system automatically. Document summaries are super helpful, so someone can look right away, is this document relevant to what I need to do, and do I need to take a closer look at it? And then related to where we're going is we're expanding. We already do, for those that don't know, we already do like some government agencies like International Trade Commission, and we do the Patent Trademark Appeal Board and the Trademark Appeals Board. We are adding full IP coverage. So you'll be hearing more in the next coming months about how we're working with firms to do just regular patent prosecution and regular regular IP stuff, trademark information, all of that, and automating processes around that. And we're also talking to firms about what we can do with transactional and trade practices. So we're working on International Trade Agency. We actually have that live now and operating at a couple of our firms, and we just keep expanding to more and more of these. You don't think of litigation, but similar processes like litigation where people are getting notifications coming in and they need to process them, they need to send them out to the team. We're doing a lot more in all of those areas.
Super exciting, Dan. As we think about expanding to other like adjacent practices, areas of law, there's so many firms and agencies out there that are trying to handle the millions and millions of notices that you allude to at the top of this session. Where can, prospects and potential customers best reach the ECFX team?
Yeah, so the best way to reach out is you can reach out to me personally if you like, dan.o'day@goecfx.com, or more generically, if you want to reach out to our sales team, that's just simply sales@goecfx.com. All that information is on our website, which is obviously goecfx.com for those that want to come and learn more about ECFX.
I love it. Well, Dan, thank you so much for joining us in studio. See you next time.
Thank you too. It's great being